This is Toon Talk Weekly, episode 206. This week, Brad and I go to all sorts of dimensions when we watch an episode of Dr. Dimensionpants.
Shh! I want to watch the... Wait. New idea. Must follow tasty smell.
No!
What? No! What? What?
No cupcakes before dinner. You'll ruin your appetite.
I'm afraid your mother's right. According to Lance and Luke...
More cupcakes, less unicorn. So, Mom, are you going out anytime soon so I can eat the cupcakes? I mean, do my homework and bat my eyelashes innocently?
No time. I'm making your father's favorite meal, candy chicken casserole. Now scoot.
Oh, did I just hear candy chicken casserole? Good one, sweetie!
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday once again. It's time for another episode of the Weekly Cartoon Podcast. Toon Talk Weekly today, the show, the matter of chats and routines this week. I'm not the only voice you're going to hear on Jake Williams. Well, everybody once again this week. Brad Peyton, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty well, I just saw you for the cartoon.
Yeah, we did. Actually, in person, not just via Skype.
Yeah, no, I think we even talked, I think we brought up some cartoons this past week.
Where is that kid?
That's for sure.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday once again. That means it's time for another episode of the Weekly Cartoon Podcast. Toon Talk Weekly, of course, that is this show. Thank you for joining us once again this week to chat all about cartoons. I'm Jake Williams, but I'm not the only guy doing this show. It's been over 200 episodes, and I haven't done a single one solo. I got Brad Chmielewski waving over there. What's up, Brad?
What's up? How's it going?
It's going well, man. Another week, another cartoon, as we often say.
Yeah, so I know we watched this cartoon, but I've been watching a lot of Star vs. the Forces of Evil.
Is it where is it available?
On Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been watching it there. I think I'm almost done with the first season. They're broken up like we did when we did it on the show. They're broken up in 11-minute episodes, so you usually get two each episode.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it took a while. It took like about 5 or 6 episodes before I was finally like, all right, I'm digging this show. Like the first 6, I was like, it looks nice and it's cute, but it's not that interesting. Now I'm feeling okay about it.
So it took a few episodes to hook you into like the world and the story and make you care to watch more.
Yeah, it's no Steven Universe. It's not as deep and like meaningful as that. It's really just kind of silly and wacky, but to like care about the characters at all took a while.
Yeah, that's interesting because I remember us loving the show when we did it for episode 100. And at that point, man, there might have only been like 6 episodes available, period.
Now there's 2 seasons, maybe 3.
And I do believe recently, I think we tweeted it from our account over on at Toon Talk Weekly on Twitter, that the creator is working on the next season, or it's going to premiere soon. And the first 4 episodes are effectively a movie, but they'll act as like episodes 1 to 4 or 1 to 3 or something of the new season. So good to hear that's still going. But I think the most important part of that, aside from how cool the cartoon looks, and that now we realize Steven Universe is Brad's bar for all cartoons moving forward.
Right.
Is that I noticed the other day, we watched this show this week, Dr. Dimensionpants over on Hulu. Dude, Hulu has like all the good licenses.
They have a lot of cartoon license, yeah.
Like I feel like quietly, when we started this podcast, most websites didn't show a lot of whole episodes. This was 2013. Amazon Video actually had the Nickelodeon license, if I remember correctly, and so we could watch all kinds of SpongeBob or older stuff on there. Netflix had a lot of Cartoon Network stuff. Now they have some, but it's more like the shows you probably don't really want to watch.
Right.
And I was over on Hulu when we were watching this episode this week, and I noticed I was like, I can watch Steven Universe here. I can watch regular show here. Like I can watch all kinds of stuff, and it's all in one place. And I feel like quietly that's happened. Like Hulu just is like, yeah, we're the TV giant, so here you go.
Yeah, some of the like higher tier shows are like a season behind. Like season, I think season 4 of Steven Universe isn't on Hulu, but it's on the Cartoon Network app.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense, though, I think. I think the archaic thing that I don't like, I'm all for companies. We've complained enough about companies' websites, specifically Nick, has been a pain in our side sometimes. I'm all for sending traffic to your website because we want to go watch the show there, but I super dislike we have episodes 1, 3, 7, and 12 available. Like,
Right. That does me no good for a show that is really just a long story that I kind of need to know what happens.
now if you're
Even if it is a cartoon, it's kind of silly and you can watch it out of order. Most of them do follow a path.
Yeah, if there's a path, I want to be able to effectively binge watch it over like a week or something. I don't want to have to skip around and miss stuff. So that's my rant on their websites. It's been a while since we talked about their websites, but I think now is probably the best time ever if you want to get into watching cartoons online and you're looking for stuff that isn't Shirt Tales, because that's the only cartoon that's nowhere. I think that Hulu is probably, if you're looking for one subscription service, I think right now, cartoon-wise, Hulu's where it's at.
Right, unless you're like a Crunchyroll, like need your anime.
True.
Then I guess which I don't need that.
Yeah, they can't compete, I think, on anime. I do think Hulu has quite a bit too, but it's not nearly as much. Crunchyroll is like specifically anime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Originally, I thought that, by the way, when I saw the logo for that website, it was a food delivery service, and it's not.
Yeah. You're disappointed? You're like, all right.
I'm like, yeah, I could go for some sushi right now. That sounds great. So this week, we're going to talk about a show called Dr Dimensionpants. We mentioned before, and if you're watching the video version, you've been staring at the title the entire time. You can head over to YouTube to watch episodes of Toon Talk Weekly video, which sound exactly the same. However, when you hear little clips from the show, you actually get to see the clips over there as well.
And you get to look at our faces.
Yeah.
Which is possibly a plus or a negative. I don't know.
Brad, you're really not selling this face thing.
It's like real good. If you're just listening to audio, it's like the best.
Yeah. And of course, if you head over there and you check out any video versions, I think we've been doing this since 180 something, 190 something. It's been a handful now. We've gotten the process down pretty well, but hit that subscribe button so you can see when we post new episodes, and if we post any other video content, that'll be over there as well. Yeah. Seems to be the easiest place to find Toon Talk Weekly video stuff. But of course, if you're still heading over to toontalkweekly.com to watch the episodes, and you get the links maybe through Twitter or whatever, we do embed them there as well, so you can get to them all sorts of places. This is just me asking you to subscribe to our YouTube because I want that vanity URL. That's really what I want.
You need 100, right, to get it?
I think it's 100. 25? I think we got a ways to go, but I think we can do it.
Okay, all right.
And actually, my wife was out to dinner tonight, and she was mentioning to some of the people she was at dinner with that we do a podcast. And it was a really funny discussion because I realized most of my friends that I talk to, specifically you, because we talk every single week, every single day, basically, like, I don't know, a lot of my friends have a podcast. So it's kind of weird to think that they, thought it was kind of neat that we had a podcast. And I was like, oh, yeah, I just talk about a cartoon every week. It's fun.
And it's like, you too can have a podcast. There's
yeah.
nothing.
What, you like tacos? Taco Cast. Done.
There you go.
Yeah. But start on Anchor. That's what you should do. That's where you start podcasts, 5-minute shows. But let's get into Dr. Dimensionpants this week. This is a show I can almost guarantee, without a shadow of a doubt, Brad and I had never heard of until I sent him a link.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
I think I sent you the link, and you knew the show about before I did. Like, I didn't even look at it. I just grabbed it and sent it to you. I was like, this looks like a show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a show that's over on Hulu. You can watch. I actually didn't check if both seasons are on there, but there's 2 total seasons. It's a Canadian short animated TV series. It was created by Brad Peyton. It was produced by DHX Media. We bring them up quite a bit. And The Factory Backwards Entertainment. Kind of love that name.
Backwards Entertainment,
yeah. Premiered November 6th, 2014, and then it ran until September 2015 when it was canceled. And if it's like any other Canadian cartoon, it ran over on Teletoon over there in Canada. Man, I'm kind of excited someday to like go extended stay in Canada and just be like, I know Teletoon. I see that all the time. Like, that's where all the cartoons are.
You're going to turn it on. It's going to be like Nickelodeon, and they're going to have real people. Like, it's just a normal kids network with like real shows on it.
I'm like, no, I just wanted cartoons. And so it's also spelled, like, if you're looking for the show, Doctor, obviously DR, but Dimensionpants is one word, and I kept getting confused because it's the words dimension and pants, but it is one word in this case. So the story of Dr. Dimensionpants, what you can expect to see from this series, as we'll be diving into an episode from, it's episode 3, so it's not even the origin, if they do an origin episode.
Right.
The story is we follow Kyle Lipton, who's a normal 12-year-old kid, until a portal opens up and it drops a pair of the Dimensionpants. Oh wow, drop their pants on Kyle. That's what happened.
Okay.
Nice. All right. I can see this is a kid's show, kid-friendly here. It's one of several powerful clothing items constructed by the Unicron dimension, or in the Unicron dimension, which also includes there's a pair of socks, and there's also a summer dress. Because you got to be inclusive. Girls can have dimension pants too. It's just a dimension summer dress.
Okay.
I guess they could wear the pants too. And when he wears them, the dimension pants, he becomes a superhero called Dr. Dimensionpants. And now Kyle has all of these superhero powers he ever wanted, along with responsibility, right? Because with great power comes great responsibility. However, he also has to deal with, like many of these cartoons are, being a kid. Normal kid problems or other things he has to deal with. So we have Kyle, our main character, the 12-year-old boy. He, of course, can transform into Dr. Dimensionpants. It is not specified what the powers is he gets. It just says all he ever wanted. So apparently he is...
He has everything, yeah.
Which, it's kind of like Superman, right? It's just like, all right, buddy.
I guess, but he can also travel through dimensions.
Yeah, that's pretty rad. Superman doesn't do that. And the other main character that you're going to see a lot is his full name is Philiponius Chickpea, or he goes by Phillip, who is Kyle's unicorn mentor and occasional sidekick. And he's actually featured quite heavily in the episode we'll talk about today. Mm-hmm. So right off the bat, Brad, we got this little boy who's got some fun character design. A redhead. You don't see that often. Usually the main character, especially when it's like, oh, a little boy, brown hair, blonde hair, never a redhead.
Yeah. Right.
So they took real risks here.
They took the risk, yeah.
We haven't watched a redhead star in a cartoon since Heathcliff. Does that count? Brad's just going to let me die on that one.
All right, go for it, yeah.
Yeah, so we have a giant human-like unicorn. Reminded me a lot of almost like BoJack Horseman, but, wackier, not like adult real world
Cynical,
kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, Kyle. And in this episode, we see his family, so I'm imagining they're around quite a bit. Forgive me that I don't know if there is a full-time, villain. Is there any sort of arc in this story? And also, I'm gathering that I think every single episode or multiple episodes will probably end up with him somehow traveling to some sort of dimension. That's a reason he needs to go and take care of something or fix whatever problem he might have. So,
right, yeah. For some reason, I felt like this episode was kind of out of the norm, but I don't know.
Yeah, why do I do that? Why do I keep picking episodes that feel like they
don't belong?
I bet we both have the same feeling where we pick an episode, we watch it, and then we kind of go, this can't be the whole show, right?
Yeah, but maybe it is. I don't know.
It could be.
I didn't watch any other ones besides the one episode we planned to for here.
Mm-hmm. And I got a serious Chalk Zone vibe from this show. Not from the look or anything, but the Rudy Patootie or whatever his name was from Chalk Zone had a magic piece of chalk, and he could draw his way or draw a portal into the Chalk Zone and go there. So it wasn't necessarily different dimensions, but he could go on adventures into these chalk worlds.
Yeah.
I don't remember if he could draw chalk things in the real world and use them. But anyway, so I got a vibe of that where he can call down these dimension pants whenever he wants. I also love that he kind of just has to have the pants around him all the time.
Yeah, he's got to take them everywhere he goes. If he is thinking, I might have to use these pants today.
Yeah. Well, we'll just see how this goes. I don't know. We'll make the best of it. So let's talk about an episode here. We watched Season 1, Episode 3, entitled Cupcakes at Large. Had a great name, had to pick it. Mainly because the one I was going to pick to begin with, I think had to do with robots or something, and I was like, I can't keep doing robots every time.
Okay.
Cupcakes this time. And of course, if you guys, we mentioned at the top of the show, if you have Hulu, the show's over on Hulu. I'm going to guess that all of it's on there if it stopped running in 2015, so it's probably all there for you guys. We begin our episode, we're outside, and we meet Kyle's sister and his dad. I think his dad's outside mowing the lawn, and his sister is flying a model plane, which let's just call it a drone, because why not? That would be cooler. And it skins her dad's head, and he's like, oh, if I had any hair, that would have been a great haircut. Good job, girl.
Just very, I don't know. The dad was just fun.
He's fun and encouraging. I kind of love him, right? He seems like he'd be totally goofy and never think there's something wrong. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
we meet the mom very quickly and realize she is completely the opposite person. But before we meet the mom, it's Philip, you guys have to imagine here, Philip, the unicorn, full-fledged unicorn, and Tiny Kyle. They're watching TV together.
Yeah, but this unicorn's just like a thing. Like they just accept that there's a unicorn in the house.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand that.
So this is the part where I would hope an origin story kind of thing would explain this sort of thing. But his parents just totally notice that it's there. It's not one of those hidden things. It's not anything. It's literally there. Like I don't know, man. It's one of those moments in cartoons where you just go, okay, sure.
Yeah.
So they're watching TV. The show dates itself a little bit here, man, because the show they're watching on TV is effectively Dog the Bounty Hunter, which was very popular a few years back. Was it on like A&E or History Channel or something, or not History, but National Geographic or something like that. But he's basically this bounty hunter guy with a mullet, and they hunt down people. They're paid to hunt down people and find them or get information.
Right, and he always gets his man.
Yep, full of tattoos, and he's got that mullet that's recognizable. And of course, they love watching it. Kyle and Philip here. Even to the point where we cut back to Philip and he's got a unicorn mullet. And he's like, yep, it's where my power comes from, basically. Like, they have fun with that. And they get so hyped up for this show. When you're a kid, you watch the show or something, and you wanted to go do that thing. You wanted to be a Power Ranger. You wanted to go shoot webs like Spider-Man or something. They're all hyped up. They want to go do some stuff until they smell cupcakes. Warm cupcakes out of the oven. They have to go see what's going on. They go to the kitchen and beg their mom, Kyle's mom, if they can actually have these cupcakes. And of course she says, no, man, you're going to spoil your dinner.
Yeah, of course. Like, I don't know why they even thought they were going to get these cupcakes, but...
Yeah. And so begins a small little montage here where Kyle and Philip attempt to get the cupcakes to distract his mom. Like, I think this was handled okay in the way they delivered it, but I didn't love that the very first thing he does is say, like, he accidentally slips up and says, oh, Mom, when are you going to leave so I can eat the cupcakes? Do this other thing. Like, that made me realize, I think maybe it was for a younger audience.
Yeah, they had to set it up for just to let you know, this is we're trying to do here. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But, okay.
But it was fine. So they do a little montage where they try a bunch of different types of things. One is like, Mom, there's a space alien outside, and it's Philip dressed up, and then he gets chased off by his sister's airplane. Or the funniest one is actually reminded me of, I think, a character you've illustrated for a video before, Brad, but he dresses up as like Professor Von Cupcake, and he had this big, he kind of like a Doc from Back to the Future, right? That the big white hair and the
like,
glasses.
I have to inspect these cupcakes or something like that.
Yeah.
Hello, Mrs. Lipton. I am Frederick von Cupcake. I have heard rumors of a terrible cupcake plague. Egods! Worse than fear! Quick run! I will secure cupcakes!
Oh, wait, Mr. Cupcakeo. The cupcakes are still hot. Let me cool them off.
Forget the cupcakes. I'll just eat candy instead.
Candy! I forgot the candy for the candied chicken. And I forgot the chicken. Kyle, look after your sister while I go to the store. And no eating candy. And no eating cupcakes.
Let the eating of the cupcakes begin.
And of course, it almost works that he's actually able to get these cupcakes until she's like, oh, the cupcakes are still hot. Let me turn on this fan. And it blows off his disguise. And then that didn't work. So this thing sort of ends when she realizes, oh, I was supposed to make your dad this candy chicken thing, and I forgot to get candy and chicken, so I gotta go. But hey, while I'm gone, don't eat candy and don't eat the cupcakes. And of course, as soon as she leaves, he turns to the camera and says, it's time to eat cupcakes.
Yeah, and he eats, there's like an entire dozen cupcakes there, and him and his unicorn eat them all.
In minutes. I think there is like a little wipe, so we're meant to think that time has passed.
And then they're like, oh no, we ate all the cupcakes. We're going to be in trouble. Like, you didn't think eating one was gonna get you in trouble? Like, you knew the outcome here, kid. Come on.
It was a very what have we done, but like, duh, you should have known.
Yeah.
And so their solution, which I think, is a clever one, and it follows the show's arc and what it should do is, well, I'm going to look up a dimension that includes cupcakes, and we're going to go get cupcakes from that dimension.
Yeah, fair enough, but you also have like super pants, and you have lots of cupcakes here on Earth that you could go like steal, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sitting here wondering, hypothetically, let's say you have all the ingredients in the house. Is it more or less work to bake more cupcakes or go to another dimension?
But he's a kid, he might not be able to use the oven,
True. So he goes to this cupcake dimension. It's got mostly cupcakes, but there are some other sweets on there. It reminded me a lot of was it Candy Mountain or whatever it was called from Sugar Rush. Sorry, the game from
Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah. All kinds of candy, and they find these gigantic cupcakes, and they bring them back. And I think even Philip was trying to scan to see if there was anything wrong with them. They bring him back, and it's great because his parents are like kind of iffy, and they have these massive cupcakes covering the tables. And she's like, I think they're a little bigger. And he's like, yeah, sometimes when you leave them, they just like combine. And I don't know,
Yeah,
Mom.
that was a good line. Like, yeah, they just combine and stick together and get real big. And the dad's like, I buy that.
Yep. The dad's probably my favorite character of the show, I think. And so then very quickly, the cupcakes come alive. And to this point, I thought the show was like pretty kiddie, and it didn't have that much maturity to it or whatever. Like, it wasn't asking that much of you, but the cupcakes straight up eat his parents.
Yeah.
I was
Like,
kind
not
of
even, there's not even like a moment. They're just like, all right, eat them. All right, next up, we're your new parents. Get in your room.
What is your problem, Cupcakes?
You're not even delicious. I mean, yes, tasty, but delicious? No. Compliment withheld.
Enough! We're in charge now, see?
Oh, and thanks for helping us escape.
Kyle, you've got to rescue Mom and Dad. Turn into Dr. Dimensionpants.
Don't think about it, kid. If Eddie sees Dr. Dimensionpants, he's gonna get real angry.
You know it, Bessie. And if I gets angry, I'm gonna want to digest your parents, if yous know what I mean.
What do you want, you fiendish, oversized sugary treat?
All we want is to take over your lives and use this dimension as a secret hideout, see?
Wheeze your parents now, kid.
You're not my parents. You can't treat me like this.
So this is my favorite part of the episode. Not only is it like, we're alive, parents gone, we're your parents now. It's like, that's what these cupcakes wanted to do. And we get another sequence here where it's all of these moments of Kyle realizing, like, there's no way people are going to believe these alien cupcakes are my parents. And it's like, no way my friends will believe it. No way my teachers will believe it. No way the mayor's going to believe it. And it just like escalates to the point where...
But they just keep, the cupcakes bribe them with cupcakes.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, these are great. We trust you. You gave us cupcakes.
Yeah. It's a great sequence of scenes, I think, that actually kind of like push the absurdity of kind of this concept of what's happening.
But I guess so the cupcake dimension was a dimension for bad sweets. Like, it was basically like a prison, right? Like I think Australia way back when, like, we're gonna send all the prisoners there. It's an island, nothing's gonna happen. Like, all right, we'll send all the prisoners to all the cupcake prisoners to this cupcake place. We're good.
Yep.
That means there's non-evil cupcakes out there, like in other dimensions.
But are there? Because he did a search and he found it, unless he just found the closest one. Maybe there was another one. Yeah, that would make sense. And gosh, now I'm trying to remember, like, what was the final straw that ended up getting them to spit up his parents, basically? Like, that's how the episode had to end.
I don't know. They just kind of trick him and, like, chase him down with the airplane.
Yep.
The ending of them, he finally got on the pants. That's right.
Yeah.
And so getting on the pants, he was able to, have all the superpowers and basically kick the cupcakes' butts and send them back to their dimension.
Yeah. It was pretty great. And like, the reason they coughed up the parents was like, they were scared. They're like, if we can't go back to our dimension on a full stomach like this,
Oh no, they couldn't run fast enough on a full stomach.
They're like, dump the cargo and let's go, is what became of that. So kind of a weird ending. I gotta say the episode felt it felt a little bit top heavy, where like the
like
bulk
a
of
cupcake.
yeah, maybe they meant this. The story arc was actually a cupcake shaped. Yeah. It felt like most of the action happened in the 4 minutes or something at the end of the episode when the cupcakes came to life. Besides that, there was a lot of build up to getting to the dimension at all. So it just felt a little weird to me. But Brad, season 1, episode 3, Cupcakes at Large of Dr. Dimensionpants. What were your general thoughts on the episode?
Yeah, it was all right. I don't mind it. I don't love it. It seems to be a lot of case with all the cartoons we're watching lately. It's just kind of like, yeah, that's neat. I feel like I'm watching Star vs. Force of Evil, and they go to dimensions a lot. And then we have like Rick and Morty, where they go to dimensions. There's a lot of shows right now that just go to different dimensions. Like it became this very easy plot point that's kind of, I don't know, just kind of shallow as you start to see it over and over again.
That might just be coincidental at this point.
Yeah.
We didn't mean to.
No.
Pick
We didn't mean to like pick this where they went, or pick a show, another dimension show, but I feel like it is becoming this thing that they continue to use in cartoons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now that you mentioned, actually, I guess dimension shifting seems to be a big thing in shows we've watched. I didn't realize it. As I mentioned at the top of the show, I think Chalk Zone was the thing that came to mind with this show. Obviously not the chalk world and the drawing powers and stuff. It's a little bit more generic than that, I think. But the show has an interesting look to me. And by interesting, I mean like it looks nice, but it just doesn't have the same like delicate touch to it that a lot of like the popular cartoons these days have. Obviously, this is now 3 or 4 years old, but all the stroke widths, I think, on everything were like the same, instead of having like a more hand-drawn aesthetic to it. It also, the movement, it had some really cool smear keyframes for like motion when there was a scene where the mom like shakes a carton of milk or something like that, and there was a lot of cool, neat things like that from an animation perspective. But then the way it was animated reminded me of how things move and look in After Effects, a piece of software that people use for animation sometimes. But I can almost guarantee the show is probably Flash, but not so much hand-drawn Flash, more like symbol-shaped, scaly Flash. It just it almost felt like it looked like a web show or something.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. But I'd also like to know if there's a bigger arc here. Like, is someone after him for these pants, or is he trying to do something better because he has these pants, or does he just kind of goof off with them?
Yeah, or is it just completely evergreen in that, he just gets the pants and can use them, and that's it. There's no.
Yeah, I don't know.
We know that not every show needs to be deeper, but I think that like when a cool show comes out, like what you've been experiencing with the Steven Universe, you can ask more of your cartoons to tell you these stories that like kind of help you kind of work through things, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, a little bit.
So maybe just not the audience here for Dr. Dimensionpants, but well, cool. That's going to wrap up our discussion on that show. Brad, where can people find you when you're not recording Toon Talk Weekly?
So you can follow me on Twitter. It's @brad, and then my blog is digitalhitchhiker.com.
Great. Let's go check them out over there. You can follow me on Twitter @JacobWilliams. And, of course, the show, if you want more Toon Talk Weekly, we mentioned some of it at the top of the show, but @Toon Talk Weekly on Twitter, facebook.com/Toon Talk Weekly. Of course, we're over on YouTube. If you're watching the video versions, go over and hit that subscribe button. Help us out. Help us get to that vanity URL so we can... I don't even know what you get. You get a URL, but then I think different privileges or something. I want one. Come on. And then Google Plus, we're still over there. So Google Plus, look up Toon Talk Weekly. We're over there as well. I don't know if you can type like googleplus.com/Toon Talk Weekly. I got to look up the syntax.
Yeah.
If you're on Google Plus for whatever reason, we are too. That's the note there. Or email. You want to let us know what you think of the show. If you have any more information about Dr. Dimensionpants, we would, of course, love to hear about it. Because we had fun with the show, but we'd like to know more. We don't know if we'll make the time to watch a ton more, but I'd love to hear if there's a bigger arc, if there's a villain, the pants, is there a drawback? What's going on? ToonTalkWeekly @gmail.com is the place to send that. And finally, ToonTalkWeekly.com, the main hub for the show. All the episodes you ever want over there. You can listen to some of our very first episodes, like Transformers or Gravity Falls, and see how far we've come.
Oof.
And once again, guys, for next week's show, I'm a bit behind the ball. I've been doing some traveling, so I'm not as prepared as I should be. So it's going to be a grab bag again next week. We're going to try to figure out something on the fly for next week. So no, you guys get no prep this week, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry to have to do that 2 weeks in a row. And same to Brad. Brad has no idea either, so
I don't know. Yeah,
I'll figure it out. But so that's gonna do it for this week's episode, guys. Of course, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. We'll be back next week with another cartoon.
take care.
To learn more about the show, visit toontalkweekly.com or follow us on Twitter @toontalkweekly.